corporate India is biting the bullet as far as disruptions are concerned to what is happening to India and to what is happening to businesses. Businesses getting disrupted because of newer and newer technologies like artificial intelligence and machine learning emerging as the mainstay. They were emerging 10 years ago, but right now artificial intelligence is fast becoming the mainstay of new technology adoption across companies. And to deal with that, you have India Inc. willing to induct younger and younger board members as part of their boards. 30-somethings, Kartik, are becoming board members, independent board members, giving the suggestions in companies of all kinds, not just the tech sector or something. It's all kinds of companies willing to take on young board members in a country where the major share of the workforce are millennials like you and me.
So, Krishna, I think biting the bullet is where we started from. Thankfully, the folks who are biting the bullet, the youngsters who are biting the bullets are not just frontline workers anymore. They're pretty much the strategic leaders trying to draw up the vision for companies sitting in the boardrooms. It just gives me hope that it's perhaps not too early for people like you and me also to occupy those seats.
Absolutely.
So there is definitely some hope. Yeah, late 30s, early 40s seems like just the right time to be an independent board member somewhere. I hope we have Monica with us who can help us find a company that wants to induct more younger independent board members.
We are being joined by Monica Agrawal, Managing Director of Financial Services Asia Pacific, Korn Ferry. Thank you so much for taking time out to be with us here on Business Plus on News 9 Live. Monica, talk to us. This trend is an extremely heartening trend, and also in a sense the perfect response to the VUCA world, or volatile, uncertain, complex and ambiguous world that we live in.
Absolutely, Kartik and Krishnan, and thanks for having me here. And you know, you're absolutely right that we are living in very, very exciting times. And I think
exciting is a nice word, Monica. It's like the Chinese proverb that says, "May you live in interesting times." We're living in interesting times, don't we? 30-something board members. Who would have thought?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I mean, let me just give you a context on what's really happening. I think you may have read about something I you know, spoke about just over this weekend to another publication. There are about 1,600 board members across the India Inc. listed companies whose second terms are coming to an end in the next 12 to 18 months. And that's very, very relevant, because what normally would have been a threat to corporate governance sustenance has actually become an opportunity. You know, because this is a time to reboot, and frankly, companies are becoming very, very aware that their boards also need to reflect what the mix of their employees and customers is. And as you know, we are a young country. You know, we actually have a large population of Gen Zs and now millenniums, and they have completely different way of thinking, behaving, you know, leading, etc. And that's why the boards are getting younger. Clearly, organizations are wanting to, and as we all know, board is a strategic asset, right? That is pretty much the guiding beacon of an organization. And therefore, the boards are getting younger, just as management teams are, because they want to also understand what the new gen really thinks and wants to be like.
But Monica, you know, conventional wisdom told us that you've got to be grey-haired or bald. Well, I'm not that old, I'm bald, but you needed some sort of experience, and you needed decades of diverse experience to be able to strategically draw up a vision of an organization. And that seems to be something that is getting replaced by the youth. In your experience, and you deal with the personnel of all levels at your company and at your client's end. So, you know, given your experience, while youth would understand the needs of the youth, would the youth have the right experience to draw up the right business strategies and corporate governance at a time? And this context is important because at a time that we've seen startups which are mostly run by the youth flounder on practically everything from business strategy to corporate governance. I mean, I don't want to generalize it, but if 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 startups don't make it, there's got to be a reason, and 8 seems to be one of them.
So that's a great point, Kartik, you make, but just remember that board is a body of directors. It's not just one individual.
Sure.
So while boards are inducting young directors who are in their 30s, early 40s, but I think they are very, very smartly and very meaningfully ensuring that there is youthful vigor, there is gender diversity, there is skill diversity, and there is maturity of age and wisdom. So overall, I would say it's actually a good strategy rather than to say, okay, the youths have often floundered and lots of startups have floundered. But equally, I mean, hey, let's face it, Mr. Obama was president of the United States of America at the age of 40.
Yeah.
You can't get a bigger job than it.
Right, and we are getting younger prime ministers as well in the United Kingdom. The youngest prime minister that they've had as well. It's all getting younger for sure. But the question here is that in terms of work culture, it will be a challenge to when you have a board where one half or at least the overwhelming majority is in the 50s, 60s, and the other half is in the 30s. Everything from food and beverage consumption habits to preference in air conditioning is going to be a problem. Practically speaking.
Corporate strategy.
Yeah.
I mean, corporate strategy.
How do you put these vastly different age groups together in one room?
I think it's a misnomer that age and wisdom or age and maturity are mutually exclusive. I would say that when we put together a board, while their ages might vary, their genders might vary, the skill set might vary, there is a commonality in terms of purpose, there is a commonality in terms of wisdom, and there is a commonality in ways, what we call their traits and drivers. That's a very Korn Ferry term. Sorry for bringing that in. But you actually assess for those commonalities and for those, before we actually put together a board of directors.
Monica, just help us also arrive at this another sort of conclusion here, that is it fair to assume that most of these youngsters are part of the family or related to the family running these businesses, or are these organically picked up on merit? How does the youth in the board look like today as far as their generational sort of lineage with the promoters?
Fair enough. Just to add to that question, because I'll tell you what, I've been watching social media ads come up where they say you can actually take certificate courses to become independent board directors. Now that's being offered to people at large, general public, whoever wants to take up that course and become an independent board member. So if you're going to evolve to a stage where we're going to have young people being given a seat on the board because of a little quota for young people on the board, how is it going to work? Are you going to see more family business members taking precedence over those from the fair competition category?
Well, I think we are confusing a board of director with an independent director.
Okay.
So a lot of the family prodigal sons and daughters are typically maker for what you call a non-executive director,
right?
Or a nominee director. Whereas what we are looking for, or what we help India Inc. find for, and that's where I think one of the examples is Arjun Mohan, for instance, who is a former CEO of Upgrad. He's 37, but he's already on 2-3 boards of diverse kind of organizations, as an example. So I think even at independent director level, there is a sort of need that the organizations are feeling to get younger talent in or younger leaders in. But the two are diverse sets. The promoters do induct the family members as, to groom them to be eventual leaders, but the independent directors are also getting younger.
It's all heading in the young direction is the word coming in. Thank you so much, Monica, for taking time out to speak with us here on Business Plus on News 9 Live. Pleasure having you. Hope to keep having you again and again on the show going forward as well, on as many varied and interesting topics that we can talk to you about. But for now, we'll let you go. Thank you so much, Kartik. And with that, we have completely run out of time, really, on the show. It's been a pleasure having you on the show as well.
Thanks,
the wrap is from my side. This is Krishnakumar signing off. Keep it with News 9 Live.